Shark Media.
From Washington, D.C., where 2 debates is fewer than 3 but more than 0 unless you're RFK, this is Ballot.
Today, Biden and Trump agree to 2 debates. Get out the popcorn and let's hit this. Well. Look who decided to make this presidential debate schedule an absolute circus. In a shocking turn of events, Joe Biden and Donald Trump have agreed to not 1 but 2 televised face-offs in the run-up to November. And they're doing it all on their own maverick terms, baby. That's right. The former frenemies practically dropped a steel chair on the Commission on Presidential Debates by completely bucking its carefully curated 3-debate format. Instead, we're getting an Atlanta throwdown on June 27th, courtesy of CNN, followed by an ABC-hosted rematch in September, both of which promise to be absolute barn burners if their initial taunts are any indication. Biden kicked things off by challenging Trump to debates under his rules. Trump, never one to resist an opportunity for chaos and bombast, eagerly agreed and even demanded more debates in July and August, just for the hell of it. Because in the endless delusion Olympics that is Trump versus Biden 2024, there's no such thing as too much inanity. Trump labeled his opponent the worst president and worst debater he's ever faced, to which Biden clapped back by sassily noting he plans to keep Air Force One for another 4 years. Oh, snap, folks. Their respective campaigns tried to maintain a patina of decorum, with Biden's side touting their push for no more games, no more chaos, even as they fully embraced the games and chaos of circumventing traditional protocols. Meanwhile, Trump's people signaled they're ready to rumble, despite having already skipped every GOP primary debate this cycle. Precedent? Where they're going, they don't need precedent. And let's not forget the cherry on top of this circus pileup. The Biden camp explicitly declaring that third-party spoiler Robert F. Kennedy Jr. won't be allowed on stage because he has no statistical chance of winning. A brutal, yet probably accurate dismissal of the political outlier that RFK inevitably decried as undermining democracy. According to our impartial friends at Fox News, this is shaping up to be less of a no-holds-barred slobber knocker and more of a tightly choreographed dance-a-tall. Let's break down the deets. First off, Biden wants the debate staged in a sterile TV studio devoid of any raucous audience members or noisy spectacles. No rambunctious MAGA masses or fired-up Biden bros allowed, just the candidates and a moderator having a riveting solo conversation. Speaking of limited attendance, the Dems are demanding this be a strict one-on-one bout between Biden and Trump. No plucky third-party underdogs like RFK Jr. allowed to even sniff the canvas, despite poll numbers suggesting he poses more of a threat to Biden than the Donald. But the real showstopper provision? The demand that each candidate's microphone be muted once their allotted speaking time expires. No more crosstalk. No more constant Trump interruptions. Just 2 old coots taking rigid turns ranting into dead air like your crazy uncle at Thanksgiving. Riveting television, I'm sure. Oh, and if you were hoping this could be moderated by a real hard-hitting journo ready to press both sides, sorry. But the Biden rules stipulate it can only be hosted by networks that previously platformed Trump primaries in 2016 and Biden primaries in 2020. Basically, a tiny Trump/Biden-approved pool of usual corporate suspects like CNN, ABC, and CBS. No roughhousing allowed. At this point, I have to wonder if Biden's team is actively trying to make these debates as dramatically inert as humanly possible. It's like they're terrified of allowing even an ounce of the unscripted chaos that has historically made presidential debates must-see TV. Then again, maybe they're just playing the long game here. Lull Trump into a false sense of controlled complacency, only to pull the rug out from under him with octogenarian UFC-style ground and pound at the last minute. Hey, an old man can dream. In any case, Trump has already signaled he'll play by Biden's rules because, well, does he really have a choice at this point? According to RFK Jr., the 2 establishment candidates are trying to exclude me because they are afraid I would win. A bold claim from the long-shot spoiler candidate. Kennedy's grievance stems from the qualifying criteria laid out by the debate hosts, CNN and ABC. Things like hitting minimum polling thresholds and being on the ballot in enough states to theoretically claim 270 electoral votes. Now, Kennedy's campaign insists they'll meet all those benchmarks by the eligibility deadlines. But they're also playing a bit of strategic keep-away, intentionally holding off on submitting ballot signatures in some states to avoid extra scrutiny from the DNC. So on one hand, you have Kennedy preemptively accusing Biden and Trump of rigging the game against him, while on the other, his own campaign admits to deliberately delaying submissions that could help them qualify. It's a delicious paradox of paranoia and political gamesmanship that perfectly encapsulates the RFK Jr. experience so far. Painting himself as the noble outsider being suppressed by the corrupt establishment, even as he engages in the same cynical tactical maneuvering he rails against. You've got to admire the sheer unvarnished opportunism on display. Kennedy's whole platform seems predicated on being the plucky underdog railing against a rigged system. So of course he'd seize on this debate drama to reinforce that victim narrative. Whether he's genuinely being colluded against or simply failing to clear the predetermined bar is almost irrelevant. What matters is that RFK Jr. gets to solidify his rebellious brand and rile up disaffected voters, convinced the two-party system is hopelessly corrupt. It's political performance art delivered with all the subtlety of a sledgehammer to the kneecap. But hey, when your primary role is that of spoiler and chaos agent, courting confrontation and controversy is simply good marketing. In other news, Seth Meyers joked, former President Trump appeared to fall asleep yesterday during Michael Cohen's testimony for a full half hour. Again? You know, I was excited for this trial, but it seems like the only thing we're accomplishing is making sure Trump is well rested before the election. Stephen Colbert, after learning that Trump said, "Just do it," to hush money payments to Stormy Daniels, joked that Nike has changed their slogan to "Yay, sneakers." The AI that helped write today's podcast said Joe Biden is so old, he was angry he wasn't allowed to take part in the first ever debate between Lincoln and Douglas.